Uh, in the time before I went to go get dinner, roughly, in the hour and a half leading to me getting dinner at Harrison Dining Hall, and then making a trip at the Nest to get 2 rock-solid endurance energy drinks, which in hindsight I probably shouldn't have made, or I should have made it at lunchtime. I studied for my Spanish quiz. Primarily by going over the 3 VHL Central interactive grammar tutorials that I think the lesson 14, or I believe 14, will be on. The subjunctive, knowing when to use the subjunctive mood versus the indicative mood, past participles, and nosotros commands. I've gotten to the point where I can get all 3 of these things down pretty correctly. At least in the short-term memory. I've learned from experience that typically whatever soups they have at lunchtime at Harrison, they'll also have them at dinner time. I did a bit of work on the 99th Dan Hamming today, although I'm probably going to want to wait for that voice forge fix before I add any more Pittaroo voices. And Kent has the Pittaroo voice, and I have him planning on having him say something as Ginger gets up to answer the door. I also have the second Urkel review, which I've technically started. I opened up a Word document and typed out the frame, which is typically my name in this corner, the name of the class in this corner, the date here, and then the name of the assignment here. And this frame not only helps keep my assignments somewhat consistent, but it also serves to remind me to double space format my assignments. This is coconut rice which I believe is a form of low carb and gluten-free rice. And it tastes pretty good. I think it might be good for weight loss, but I'm not sure exactly how many vitamins or minerals it has. I know that golden rice has quite a few, but I haven't seen that ever be served at Harrison Dining Hall or Brockway. Or at the very least, I don't remember it. I currently don't go out much, but excuse me. That may change soon, and even despite the current circumstances, I am seeing people who recognize me. Though, at times it may be hard for me to recognize them. Often when I go out, I may flip between listening to music via YouTube videos on my phone and making very brief greetings to the random people that walk by, such as have a nice day or at this time have a nice night. Or hello. As part of efforts to be friendly. There's going to be an event soon at the Eagle Hall lobby. Where you're basically going to be able to get free cereal and milk. I believe that's how much time there is before it's 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. This is where I'm at in the Rise of the Phoenix Cult event. This is where I am in terms of the research tree. There's more magic eggs. Although during an involvable building event, such as this one, which I feel came around so shortly after the last evolvable building event. I think that last one was just weeks ago, in which I got the sled, the Elvenar sled, the Everblossom sleigh. It turns out, I initially thought that when I went to upgrade my top steel manufactory in order to complete this quest, I thought it would turn out to be a space big enough for me to place down my new evolvable building, the Ashen Phoenix, but it turns out that wasn't the case. Unless I'm able to move some stuff around. It doesn't seem particularly likely, though. You can feed the Ashen Phoenix and it'll give you more event currency for completing quests for the rest of the event. So I should probably dedicate the next city expansion to that. And the next one after that should probably be dedicated to the mercenary camp. City expansions after that will probably be reserved for the Dwarven Ancient Wonders. Oddly enough, at some point today, I made three trade offers in which I offered 5 steel for 2 elixir, partially because an earlier task set required me to place 3 trade offers, and partially because I wanted to see if I could place such small trade offers. And it turns out I can. And those 3 incredibly small trade offers were even accepted, though I should probably not do that again in the future. I should at least offer 100 or 1,000 of something in exchange for a fair price. Making such incredibly small offers could be considered spam. And even though these 3 incredibly small trade offers were fair, as indicated by their 2-star rating, I can still understand if they're frowned upon. Because having 5 steel is not going to be significant for anything. Even when I was just starting out, 5 steel was still not significant for me. I'm pretty sure even the lowest level steel manufacturing, if it's boosted, will produce much more than 5 steel for a 3-hour production period, which is the shortest production period for any manufacturing. 5 minutes is the shortest production period for the workshops, but that's impossible to maintain efficiently. 15-minute one is also impossible. And the 1 hour production period is also impossible, but I still do it. It's possible to maintain decently if you're awake and have the game running in another tab. But it's easy to forget about a 1 hour supplies production period. My only class today was my 1220 National Security class, which I have a midterm on, but I don't have to do it until Friday. And the only other thing I recall needing to do for Friday is an assignment for my African politics class. A weekly assignment for my African politics class. Last night and earlier today, I felt rather overwhelmed with all the things I had to do this school week. But now that I have a plan for them, it suddenly seems a lot less daunting. Thursday's the day of the Spanish Chapter 12 quiz, and that article review, which I believe I can't use word reference for. Technically, this time around, it's going to be an assignment I type, but I don't recall being allowed to use word reference during the first article review, in which it was in person and written in class. That's not what I recall. This is a piece of Peruvian-style chicken. I think the Peruvian-style chicken is a wet chicken. And that seems to be somewhat confirmed for me. I like either wet chicken or cut up dry chicken, generally speaking. Whole dry chicken, not as enjoyable for me. Because the big pieces of dry chicken sort of fall apart as you chew on it. Or maybe that's just my experiences with dry turkey, or light turkey, as I think the technical term is. Yeah, pretty wet chicken. I try my best to get healthy food at Harrison Dining Hall. Oddly enough, I went to bed at 2:30 in the morning, roughly. But I woke up naturally at either 5:30 p.m. or 7:30 p.m. I'm going to go with the latter of that because I remember distinctly when I woke up seeing the sun rising in my dorm room. So I woke up at 7:30 p.m. That's 5 hours of sleep. From experience, I can get away with doing a 5 to 6 hour night once, but if I do it multiple times in a row, I'm going to end up nodding off or completely falling asleep during the day. Generally speaking, I think for me the acceptable amount at least, is 7 hours. Though I think it's a week of short sleep cycles of roughly 6 hours, that may be what could cause me to pretty much immediately fall asleep when I get home from Dad pick me up at Brockport for a sleepover at his place. His apartment unit consisting of just me and him. Historically, the terminology for them has been sleepovers because I think in the past my sister would come along too, but that hasn't happened in a considerable amount of time. It's currently around 11 p.m. 11:08 p.m. to be exact. This is how I left my dinner when I went down to get a bowl of cereal at that Eagle Hall lobby event. And this is the spoon I used to eat that cereal. A mix of first Fruity Pebbles and then Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I did some more studying for that Spanish quiz. And then I worked on the 99th Dan Hamming. This work primarily getting a bit ahead of myself. By going into clips of going into essentially the video for the Ravion video for the original first part of the original 99th episode, but now it's the 100th episode. saving the scenes as templates, which is basically the spiritual successor to starters. And then adding those templates in in order to start to develop the scene where Ginger lets in the stick babe character. I don't believe I've officially given that character a name yet, but that's the technical name of at least one of the stick figures, the female character. I'm very grateful I was able to find this pen by going down to the Eagle Hall lobby. I believe I did that around 5 p.m. And as it turned out, nobody needed that pen. I made sure to ask permission and to ask if anyone needed that pen because I found it at the desk, the RA desk of the Eagle Hall lobby before I took it, and now I'm using it to study for my Lesson 14 Spanish quiz. I also did some work on my second article review, although I don't think I need to dedicate a huge amount of time to it, especially not prior to the Lesson 14 quiz. The quiz will start at 11, and prior to that I may go to the Rockport Barnes & Noble bookstore to get some pens. I think around 4:30 p.m. I tried looking around his dorm room for a pen that worked, but all the pens I found either didn't work at all or only worked for a brief moment before I encountered difficulty getting ink out of it. So I may go to bed anywhere between 1 and 2 in the morning, wake up, go to the SUNY Brockport bookstore to get some pens, and then I'll probably do some last minute studying before I start that Spanish quiz. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Called both of my parents. And I'm about a 20-minute drive from both of them, but we're all busy at the moment, so we primarily keep in touch via phone, but My dad's been picking me up every week so far, which I'm grateful for. I had to put this food container above my gallon of milk within the middle section of my mini fridge, because the other half, the one this way to the left of the middle section, is so full of energy drinks that I couldn't fit this tray on top of them. And at some point while I was searching around for a working pen in this dorm room, I accidentally stepped on a wavy barbecue sleeve or can of Pringles that was unopened up to that point. And I ended up crushing some of the Pringles chips. So I ate just a tiny portion of them. I've estimated about a 20th of them.